Hello everyone, this is Sweta here. This is my another video for the chapter Understanding Quadrilaterals, and in this video I will be covering the exercise 3.4 question number 1 to question number 6. So question number 1, state whether true or false. Now the first statement is all rectangles are squares. So first try to recall, in a square all the four sides are equal, whereas in a rectangle only the opposite sides are equal. So all the rectangle cannot be square. So this statement is false. The second one, all rhombuses are parallelogram. In a parallelogram opposite sides are parallel and equal. In a rhombus all the four sides are equal. So obviously the opposite side will also be equal and parallel. So this statement is true. Now third one, all squares are rhombuses and also rectangle. Yes, square is having all the properties of a rhombus, because in a rhombus also all the four sides equal, square also all the four sides equal. In a rectangle, opposite sides are equal and all the four angle 90 degree. In a square, as all the four sides are equal, so obviously opposite sides are also equal. And in a square also all the four angles are 90 degree. So C is also true. All squares are not parallelogram. Square is a parallelogram. Okay, so because in a square also opposite sides are parallel. So this statement is false. All kites are rhombuses. Now rhombus, all the opposites, all the sides are equal, right? But in a kite only the adjacent sides are equal. So this statement is false. Next, all rhombuses are kites. Yes, in a kite, adjacent sides are equal. In a rhombus, all the four sides are equal. So obviously the adjacent side will also be equal. So F is true. Now next question is, all the parallelograms are trapezium. Now the property of a trapezium is it has only one pair of parallel sides. Now in a parallelogram, both the opposite sides are parallel. So obviously parallelogram is also a trapezium because it has both the opposite sides are parallel. Next, all squares are trapezium. See, first of all the parallelograms are trapezium. Just now we have said, right? So when all squares are trapezium, trapezium only one pair of opposite side parallel. In a square, both the opposite sides are parallel. Why? Because a square is a parallelogram, and if it is a parallelogram, then it will satisfy the property of a trapezium also. So this statement is also true. Now question number 2. Identify all the quadrilaterals that have four sides of equal length. Okay. So think about the quadrilateral whose all the four sides are of equal length. So the quadrilateral will be rhombus and square. Right. Now next question. Name the quadrilateral which have all the four right angles. So this is a very simple question. So the quadrilateral will be rectangle and square. Now next question, explain how a square is a quadrilateral. Now what is the meaning of a quadrilateral? The polygon which is having four sides. So obviously square is also having a fourth side. So square will also be a quadrilateral. How a square is a parallelogram. Like in a parallelogram, opposite sides are parallel, right? In a square also opposite sides are parallel. So it is also a parallelogram. Rhombus. In a rhombus, all the four sides are equal. In a square also all the four sides are equal. So a square will be a rhombus. Rectangle. So in a rectangle we can see all the four angles are 90 degree, right? So square also have all the four angles 90 degree. So a square can be a rectangle. Question number 4. Name the quadrilateral whose diagonals bisect each other. Now we all know that in a polygon the diagonals bisect each other. So all the quadrilateral which satisfies the properties of a parallelogram will have the diagonals bisecting each other. So the quadrilateral will be parallelogram, square, rhombus and rectangle. Next question. Name the quadrilateral whose diagonals are perpendicular bisector of each other. Now bisector means the diagonals are getting divided in two equal halves, and perpendicular bisector means at the intersection point of the diagonal they form a right angle. Right? So the quadrilateral will be rhombus and square. Now name the quadrilateral whose diagonals are equal. So the quadrilateral whose diagonals are equal will be square and rectangle. Question number 5. Explain why a rectangle is a convex quadrilateral. So if you remember, in my very first video, I have covered this topic, convex and concave polygon. So I'm going to do a quick recap of that concept again. So this is my concave quadrilateral. So in a concave quadrilateral, at least one of the angle will be more than 180 degree. So if you see here, this angle is less than 180. This is also less than 180. This is also less than 180. But this angle, if you see, this angle is more than 180 degree, isn't it? So if I'm going to do it here like this angle is more than 180, because if I extend this line till here only, it is a straight angle. So my this part is extra. So this angle is more than 180 degree. Moreover, in a concave quadrilateral, one of the diagonal will be outside the quadrilateral. So if I join this vertex and this vertex, I will get my one of the diagonal, and that diagonal will be outside this quadrilateral. So let's join and see this vertex and this vertex. If I'm joining, I can see that this diagonal is outside this quadrilateral. Now next, convex quadrilateral. So in a convex quadrilateral, all the angles will be less than 180 degree. So I have taken here a rectangle, and you know that in a rectangle all the four angles are 90 degree. So obviously they are less than 180 degree, isn't it? So this is a convex quadrilateral. Moreover, if I join the diagonal will be inside this, isn't it? So let me join the diagonal here. If I'm joining this diagonal, you can see here this diagonal is also inside the quadrilateral, and this diagonal is also inside the quadrilateral. So we can say that the rectangle is a convex quadrilateral because each angle is less than 180 degree and both the diagonal lies in its interior. Question number 6. Now this is the last question of exercise 3.4. ABC is a right angle triangle and O is the midpoint of the side opposite to the right angle. So here ABC is a right angle and this point O is opposite to the right angle. It means my right angle is at vertex B, right? So I can show here that ABC is a right angle having right angle at vertex B. Clear? Now next you have to show that explain why O is equidistant from A, B and C. Now what is the meaning of equidistant? Equi means equal, distant means distance. So you have to show that O is at equal distance from vertex A, vertex B and vertex C. So you have to show OA will be equal to OB will be equal to OC. This you have to show. And in the question, dotted lines are given to help. So if you see here AD, CD and OD, they all are shown using the dotted line. So if I draw a line from point A such that it will be parallel to side BC, then AD will be parallel to BC. Similarly, from point C, if I draw a line which is parallel to AB, so CD will be parallel to AB, right? Now if you see here, AD is parallel to BC and AB is parallel to CD. So from here I can say that ABCD will be a parallelogram because opposite sides are parallel, right? And already it is given in the question that angle B is a right angle. So angle B is 90 degree. And in a parallelogram, we know that opposite angles are equal. So if angle B is 90, angle D will also be 90 degree. Again, in a parallelogram, adjacent angles are supplementary. So if angle B is 90, angle A will also be 90 degree. Then only their sum will be 180 degree, isn't it? And opposite to angle A is angle C. So here I can see that all the four angles are equal to 90 degree, isn't it? So a parallelogram where each angle is 90 degree, we call that parallelogram as a rectangle. So here ABCD is a rectangle, isn't it? Now in a rectangle, we know that diagonals are equal as well as they bisect each other. So if I say if they bisect each other means OA will be equal to OC and it will be equal to half of AC, isn't it? Similarly, OB will equal to OD and they will be equal to half of BD. So we can say that again that in a rectangle the diagonals are equal. So AC will be equal to BD. So what will be half of AC and half of BD? So from 1 and 2, I can see that half of AC is OA equal to AC and half of BD is OB equal to OD. So from here, I can say that OA will be equal to OB will be equal to OC will be equal to OD because diagonals are equal. So their halves will also be equal. So all will be equal to each other. So from here, I can show that O is equidistant from A, B and C. So that's all for today's class. Please like, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you.